Alright, so today I'm going to give you guys just a quick example of how to factor a polynomial and solve when the coefficient in front of the x squared, the a variable, is not 1. Okay? So first we want to look at that coefficient and our constant, and we want to multiply those two guys together. So 10 times 6 is 60. And then I create this little t-chart over here. At the top I have a times c. Okay, at the bottom I've got whatever my b value is, including the sign. Alright. And then I start listing the factors of 60. So our factors of 60 are 1 and 60, 2 and 30, 3 and 20, 4, 15, 5, 12, 6, 10, 7 doesn't work, 8 doesn't work, 9 doesn't work, and then we're back here at 10 and 6. So once you've repeated, you can start, you can say that you're done. Alright? Then what we do is we look at the differences between everything. So let's take a look at that. So hold on here. Alright, so we're going to look at 1 and 60. So if you add them together, you get 61. Oops, let me change colors. 61. And if you subtract them, they end up with 59. 3 and 20, if you add them together, you get 32. Subtract them, you get 28. 20 and 3, you add them, you get 23. Subtract, you get 17. 4 and 15, you get 19 or 11. 12 and 5 is 17 or 7. 16 or 4. And 16 or 4. Alright, now what we do is we look for the match. 19 matches our b value. But again, we need it to be negative, and this is positive. So as soon as I see that, I know that both then need to be negative. Negative 4 and negative 15. So I come over and I write our two bubbles. And I plug in our two factors that we found, negative 4 and negative 15. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to recopy everything here except for this. So just the 10x, 10x, and 10x. So right now I've artificially written 10x twice, because if I did 10x times 10x, I'd end up with 100x squared, which is not what we want. We want 10x squared. So what's going to happen is we're going to kind of factor that out, and it's going to disappear away. So you look at each one and say, alright, does 10 and 4 have anything that we could pull out? Well, yeah, if you divide each by 2, they divide evenly. So we're factoring out a 2, except that 2 never really existed. So 10 divided by 2 is 5x minus 2, and we've simplified. Then our next guy here, we're going to do something similar, except the factors of 10 and 5 that match are 5. So we're going to be left with 2x minus 3. And now we've got it factored. So if that's set equal to 0, then we set each factor equal to 0. And we solve. So 5x equals 2, so x equals 2/5. And then we get 2x equals 3, so x equals 3/2. Oops. 3/2. Alright, those would be our zeros, roots, solutions, or x-intercepts. Alright, hope that helped. Oh, one last note. If you ever end up with a quadratic over here that isn't set equal to 0, you need to either subtract or add the parts of one side of the equation to get everything to one side and make sure you're set equal to 0 before you begin this. Also, you need to look at all the different coefficients here and make sure they don't have a common factor. Alright, if they all have a common factor, like say this middle one was 20, well then they'd all have a common factor of 2, and you'd want to factor that 2 out before you go and factor everything. Alright.